Hi, I'm Stacey Jorgensen with Independent in an Instant, and I'm here today with entertainment attorney extraordinaire David Pierce. Hi, David.
Hello, Stacey.
So David and I have known each other for many years. David's worked on lots of incredible projects with lots of incredible companies. Do you want to give me just a little quick rundown?
We've worked for little independent outfits such as Lionsgate, films such as
Tiny.
The Hunger Games.
Maybe you guys have heard of it?
But we also did all the production council work for The Artist, which we were quite proud of. And a large assortment of others that if I start naming one, then people will be mad that I didn't name them all. But
it's like an Oscar speech. Awesome. So on Indie in an Instant, the goal here is to help independent filmmakers who may not have access to an attorney as experienced as yourself. We're trying to give them access and information about how to get going on their first independent film. So let's start with the first step, which I would say is somebody wants to make a film and they don't have a script, they don't have a book, they don't know what they want to do. I would recommend that somebody get an option on a script or on a book. Would you say that's a good way to start?
I think that's a great way to start.
Perfect.
That's essentially Bob Evans' secret to being a producer is control the rights and get ownership interest in the rights.
Quickly, for an overview, let's just explain to people what an option does and why an option might be preferable over something like an attachment agreement or a right to shop.
Sure. An option is a right to purchase a screenplay for a given price during a set given period. So you may pay $10,000 for the exclusive right to purchase a film during a 12-month period, and then have the right to pay some more money for an extended option.
Got it.
During that time, while you're trying to get all of your ducks in a row to actually purchase that script, you know that no one else is going to come in and be able to buy it. It's kind of put on the shelf, just wait with your name on it, waiting to be bought.
So it gives a filmmaker the exclusive right to own a property, assuming they can come up with the agreed upon price.
That's right, and you can even do more than just to have the exclusive right to buy. You have the right to develop the project. You could commission a rewrite during that time period. You can do all the other things that one would do in development, try to attach actors and legitimately say we're tied to this script, things that you would not be able to do if you were not so tied to the script.
Right, and if you put things, there can be protective language in the options, such as if you've made best efforts in a certain amount of time, that is also considered that you're making best efforts to make the film, and that sometimes gives you grounds to extend the option. Is that correct?
If I was representing the writer, I probably wouldn't permit those terms. But you can, there's really no ground rules. There are some standard terms that are regularly used in our industry custom and practice. But you can be imaginative and find ways to extend the time. Certainly, they always talk about suspension of the time periods if there's a force majeure or if somebody claims that they own the rights and therefore there might be litigation or something like that. Sure.
Okay, and then another quick question is, let's just assume that everyone watching this has, obviously they're learning about filmmaking for the first time. They may not have money. Let's say that they find a great script and they don't have any money to give up front for an option. How would you advise filmmakers to get a writer to trust them with a script for no money up front?
Sure. Well, first of all, if they are a Writers Guild member, that is the writer, their guild states that they should only be locking up their property via an option. And it says that the option price must be 10% of what the actual purchase price is. And if the purchase price hasn't been established, because it's maybe a sliding scale based on the budget, you have to get at least 10% of Writers Guild minimum for that option period. Now, some WGA members will be agreeable to do something else, as to that's something they have to make peace with their own union and them.
Right.
But there are other documents that seek to achieve the same thing but are called a different, have different names. One is a right to shop,
Okay.
which says for the next period of time, I have the exclusive right to shop your project and try and find financing. You know, a rose by any other color, it's still an option, but people call it a right to shop. Usually it's for a much more abbreviated time period.
Okay.
Say, we'll give you a right to shop for 90 days, and if you're not successful, then you have to option it. Many of the terms look very much like an option. If I'm representing a writer and it's the right to shop, I'm going to say, hey, if you're not giving me any money, then great. You can go and shop the deal and try and find financing. You can negotiate your deal with the financer, but I'm going to negotiate directly with the financer for me. So you're going to shop a deal, you know, I'm going to be involved. I'm going to make my own deal when you find the financer, and we'll both act in good faith, and we won't.
Right.
Neither of us will enter the deal unless we both enter a deal.
Correct. Now, would you say a right to shop is also called an attachment agreement?
It's, again, they're a rose of another color. They're all kind of the same thing. An attachment can say very much that attachments are usually longer,
Okay.
and they say they can also sometimes be called a collaboration agreement and
Okay.
say, look, you're the writer, I'm the producer. I'm going to help in my producer capacity to further develop this and work with you. And we're going to work together, and I'm going to use all my know-how to try and bring financiers together. And again, we agree that if I find something, or even if you find something during this time period,
Right.
I'm inextricably linked and attached to the project.
Got it. Great. So let's say minimum time you would recommend for anyone to do a shopping agreement, attachment agreement, or option would be 90 days, and maximum
Well,
would be as long as you can get. What do you recommend?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can I work here?
You just say, hey, I'm rolling up my sleeves and really making your script much better than it currently is.
Right.
So I want a partnership arrangement here that we're tied forever because I'm giving all these I'm
Adding
making
value.
your script better. I'm adding value. Yeah.
Great.